Welcome, everybody, to the award-winning RotoWire Fantasy Basketball Podcast. It is presented to you by DraftKings, by Prosper Trading, and by Vivid Seats. It is Friday, November 7th. Alex Barutha, Shannon McEwen, and Ken K-Train Kreitz.
All aboard.
As always, today we're going to touch on some of the latest news in the NBA and then talk about waiver wire ads. And then we're going to finish out the podcast with some Pick6/DFS suggestions. Let's kick things off, though. Jalen Green, he's back for the Phoenix Suns. Last night, Thursday night, in his season debut, Jalen Green delivered 29 points and 6 triples in the Suns' 115-102 home win over the Clippers, who were sitting Kawhi and sitting Harden most notably. Green played 23 minutes, but had a plus 30.
Does he do that ever again this season? I saw that. I was like, plus 30. Holy smokes.
I doubt it. Really just no rust for Jalen Green going against these shorthanded Clippers. We also had center Mark Williams, 4 double-doubles in his past 6 games, playing 25 minutes per game. What do you think, Ken?
Dare I say the Phoenix Suns are almost at 500 at 4-5? That just shocking to me. You did note that shorthanded Clippers, no James Harden, no Kawhi, 4 of them. I don't know how many games they're going to have like that. We'll see for the Clippers. But, you know, frankly, the West play-in teams, they're going to be some stinkers weaseling in there. The Suns would not shock me if the Suns somehow weasel into that 10th ranking. They're 9th now. It's awfully early, but it's kind of fun. Like I think of those old Brooklyn Nets team, when a team that's just supposed to be terrible is mediocre.
Exciting.
It'll be fun to watch, honestly. I mean, I want them to stay competitive enough where we get an amazing season out of Devin Booker, where we see Green start to tap into that Cade Cunningham-like upside he wishes. But no, Green looked great last night. I rostered Green. I've got him in the staff keeper league. Very encouraging to see that. On the other side with the Clippers, I saw on a couple of the player pick'em style DFS platforms last night, Bradley Beal, his over-under, or his more or less for points was like 13.5, 14.5 in that range. It was the easiest less I've ever had to press. After seeing him play last night, I think the dude's just toast. He can't really move.
Got 14 shots. By all means, should have scored a lot.
Yes, had the opportunity to actually cruise by that more, but he looks
only
toast
hit 2.
to me.
Only hit 2 of 14.
2 for 14.
We could hit 2 of 14.
I would love that. All right, Shannon. Let's talk about tonight's game.
Yeah, Steph Curry of the Golden State Warriors is going to miss Friday's game against the Denver Nuggets due to illness. Curry, as well as Butler and Green, missed Wednesday's game. Curry will stay home in San Francisco, but Butler and Green are traveling with the team, and I'd say that's a pretty good sign they'll play. We'll have to see. And this is Golden State's first NBA Cup game.
Yeah, I think I was going to say, I think the main thing for the Warriors right now is just that Jonathan Kuminga has looked good. Like he didn't even get drafted in a lot of leagues or in a lot of mock drafts. And I'm sure some people, in best ball leagues were taking a chance on him. And that's paying off right now. He's looked good.
Very good. Very good. And with Curry out, going to assume a little bit more AirPods might get some more run tonight. He started Wednesday's game when they were shorthanded.
They've really been jerking Pods' minutes around, as Mr. Kerr will do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's take us to some healthy news. Chet Holmgren's going to play tonight for the Thunder. Zach LaVine's going to play for the Kings. I should say both are expected to play tonight after returning from injuries. Also, LeBron James has been, quote, cleared for contact basketball activities. A good sign, but remember, he's not joining the Lakers on this current 5-game road trip, so his earliest return is November 18th. And Zach Edey, who we're going to talk about later, he's been recalled from G League where he was getting some practice, probably getting his legs underneath him. He's not going to play Friday, though. Again, Shannon will have more on Zach Edey later. But, Alex, give us the bad news on who's hurt.
Yeah, quick injury dump. So out tonight, Anthony Davis, Steph Curry, Bam Adebayo, Zach Edey, Bilal Coulibaly, Tobias Harris, Cam Thomas, Aaron Wiggins, Luke Cornett, and De'Aaron Fox are still out. And questionable for tonight's games, we have Domantas Sabonis, Anthony Edwards, Jimmy Butler, LaMelo Ball, Lou Dort, Jeremy Sohan, Torian Prince, and Steven Adams.
It's devastating for those Torian Prince fans out there.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think the big news out of these is the Bam Adebayo foot.
Yeah, the toe, right?
Toe sprain, which can take a while. Those that bother a lot. They're tough. It's usually, especially if it's a big toe. I don't remember if it is or not, but we'll see how long he's out for. It was encouraging that he was questionable to come back into the game against Denver when he hurt his foot. So I know that I've been getting some questions on Twitter about like, oh, should I add Khalil Ware? Should I drop Khalil Ware? I think you hold him for now, but we'll see how long Bam is out.
All right, well, fans, please load up some, those watching on YouTube, please load your questions while Alex tells us about our good friends at Prosper Trading.
Every weekend, millions bet on sports hoping to beat the odds, but here's the truth. The house always wins. With trading, you're not betting, you're building. At Prosper Trading Academy, we give you the tools, the education, and the live guidance to actually create an edge. You can control your risk, compound your wins, and trade alongside real pros every day. Stop gambling on games you can't control. Start trading the markets you can. Visit prospertrading.com/roto, ROTO, today and take your shot at real financial growth.
That's prospertrading/roto. All right, let's cut to our fan questions, and we got a lot of them. I'm going to try to shorten this. Thoughts on Ben Sheppard, the Pacers, plus Tyson at Cleveland. Two guys getting a lot of minutes lately. Sheppard, kind of a roller coaster lately, right, guys?
Yeah, I don't think Sheppard's just kind of, well, first of all, he's not a point guard. So he's going to be out there jacking up shots. Personally, I prefer Jalen Tyson, who has just looked great, passed the eye test. Cleveland clearly trusts him.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And honestly, Sheppard, I don't think he's going to be much of a factor. I actually expected Quentin Jackson to keep Sheppard in a low minute rotational role until he suffered his injury earlier this week. That's probably the end of Quentin Jackson's fantasy value, honestly. But the more important question, or more important side of this question is the second end of it. Christian Brown, Kalkbrenner, those are guys, if they're available, I'm picking up those long-term assets. It's not worth streaming a Tyson or a Sheppard. Those guys are going to have long-term value. Christian Brown, people are probably pretty curious or upset about his slow start to the season, but he was an absolute stud in rotisserie last year. I expect him to bounce back. He's going to have well-rounded production.
And got that bag, right? Got that bag.
Absolutely. But I just love the guy's skill set and the way he plays. So I think he's going to bounce back and have a good season. And Kalkbrenner's been great already, getting plenty of blocks and boards.
All right, let's move on, gentlemen. Anthony wants to know about a DeAndre Ayton for Desmond Bane trade. Which side of that trade would you prefer to be on?
Probably Bane. The thing is, Ayton's actually had some good games, and in a points league, 32 points per game. Fantasy points per game, I should say. Like, that's nice, But I'd probably rather have Bane. Bane is closer than you would think on the surface.
You worry with Bane's slow start that maybe he's just not a great fit with that forward-driven offense. And I've been saying this for 2 decades. When are the Orlando Magic going to get a true point guard? When? It hurts everybody. But sorry, Shannon, your views on this?
I traded Ayton in our NBA Stake League. I traded Ayton for Emmanuel Quickly this week. Very much a needs. I needed 3-pointers. I needed assists. Didn't need what Ayton offers. But Ayton's his two big games both came with Austin Reaves out for both of them. Luka out for one of them. You've got LeBron coming back soon, probably in the next couple of weeks. Ayton's not going to be doing what he's done to date for the Lakers. They just don't need him to be a 20-10 guy. Hopefully he'll continue to grab boards. Hopefully he'll be able to get a block and a half a game, if not more. But at the same time, Bane has tremendous upside. It's a slow start. He's on a new team. He's trying to figure it out. I expect Bane to bounce back, still be like a top 60, top 70 fantasy player in any format. So it's Bane. It's Bane all day long for me.
And for anyone out there who's got Ayton, now is the time to trade him, is what I hear Shannon saying. Okay, next question. Bilal Coulibaly or Kalkbrenner? Rest of season. Different categories.
I would probably lean Kalkbrenner, but if it's a category league, I think you just pick the guy that fits your categories that you need.
Yeah, I agree with that. If you need blocks, it's Kalkbrenner. If you need product and rebounds, Kalkbrenner. Anything else, probably Coulibaly. Coulibaly's injury makes me want to lean towards Kalkbrenner right now, though.
And gentlemen, would you trade? I'm not sure which side Wemby 13 here is on, but Modest and Clingan versus Mikal Bridges.
I think that's a pretty fair trade. I know a lot of people are down on Clingan right now. Like he's just kind of playing 23, 24 minutes a night. I still think he's been pretty solid in category leagues. I don't know. I think this is a tough trade for me to make because I think in theory I'm starting Clingan and Buzelis every week, assuming they play 3 games. And it's kind of hard to give up 2 starters for. And I like Bridges. He's playing better this year, but he's still not this like high upside top 40 kind of a guy.
I agree. I'm going Buzelis and Clingan on that side. I like Bridges. He is playing better this year, but I think Buzelis can match Bridges' value individually. Ken, I've got a question for you. I need you to pull up Mark Tan's Sarr, Keyshawn George question. I want to
wait.
discuss this one.
Well, wait. I got one queued. Sorry, and then I'll find that one. All right. Just Daniel passing on some love. Thank you. Martin. Oh boy, what?
I got it.
I got it. Okay, yeah, thank you. Go ahead, Shane. Should I do this trade? Alex Sarr and Keyshawn George.
Yes.
For Miles Turner and Kobe White.
All right. I'm curious what you guys think. I'm siding with Sarr and George. George has dipped in the past week. I probably overspent on him after we had a draft a week into the season, and I was probably buying the hype a little bit too much for Keyshawn George. Still getting minutes, still starting. That's going to continue to be the case. But the real reason why I'm not doing this trade is because I think Sarr is far and away the best fantasy option of those 4 players. He's been absolutely tremendous. He's only gaining steam. I would hold on to Sarr.
I'm also a little worried about just White's injury and very little news out of Chicago. Alex, have you heard anything on Kobe White's injury in Chicago?
They said he was going to be ready for opening night. They're like, just kidding. He's out for 2 more weeks. And then just the other day, like 3 days ago, they were like, just kidding. He's out for 2 more weeks. So yeah, I'm a little worried about that. I think this is a fair trade. Like whoever offered either side of this is not crazy. But I think I'm with Shannon. Like Sarr is not going to continue shooting 45% from 3. But he looks fantastic. His usage rate's high. I also believe in Keyshawn George. And that thing is, after the trade deadline, Washington is going to dump Middleton. They're going to dump McCollum. And that's a lot more usage that opens up for Keyshawn down the stretch.
One more Buzelis question. Is Josh Hart worth using my number 1 waiver spot on? It's between getting him for Sunday or Buzelis in free agency for today and tomorrow. What's the better option?
I think I would go Buzelis. Hart's playing better, so I don't want to say, Hart's done because he had like 4 bad games to start the season. His fingers still messed up.
Towns was a little dinged up when they were capping his minutes, right? It seemed like Hart was getting some of that. We need rebounds minutes, but I'm not sure that's going to keep going.
Yeah.
It's just Hart. It's not the same rotation as last season. Hart's not going to be out there playing 35 minutes. He's not going to be. He played 37.6 minutes per game last year. He's at 24 minutes per game this year. And it's a different coach. It's a different rotation. Hart's a fine fantasy player, but at 24 minutes per game, that's not enough. I'm going with Buzelis.
All right, one last question. I'm going to assume that's Devin Booker for Apollo Banchero. What side of that deal would you two rather be on?
Is that Booker for Banchero and Austin Reaves?
Oh, I'm not sure. It just says AR. I think that's a typo. And Austin Reaves would be able to.
I think it's Reaves. I think it's Banchero. I mean, if it's just D-Book for Banchero, I'm taking D-Book.
Okay.
If it's D-Book for Banchero and Reaves, I'm taking Banchero and Reaves.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right. There's a lot of wonderful questions. I don't think we have time for them. I'm sorry. What's next, Alex?
Our friends from Vivid Seats. The NBA is back. Don't just catch it on the couch. Lock in your seat this season with the Vivid Seats app, where you'll score the lowest priced tickets guaranteed. That's right. Vivid Seats is introducing their new lowest price guarantee, so you're getting the best deal all season long. Seriously, try to find a cheaper ticket. Good luck, Ken. Every dunk, every drive, and every jaw-dropping play of your favorite team live and in person. And here's the clincher. When you buy with the Vivid Seats app, you rack up rewards and free credits. Talk about a clutch home court advantage. And if that wasn't enough, Vivid Seats is offering you $20 off your first $200 ticket purchase with code RotoWire. That's code ROTOWIRE. So step into the NBA season like a pro and download the Vivid Seats app to get the best deal in the game with the best prices. Terms apply.
That's code RotoWire for $20 off. Vivid Seats is my go-to for scalping for getting tickets. Sorry. And now, Alex, take us to the meat of the show.
Yeah, I got another reason we apologize to all of our sponsors at the end of the show. The waiver wire pickups. Let's do it. All right. So the way this works, if you're new to joining us, we each have 3 waiver wire suggestions. The first 2 are typically for standard size leagues, with the last one being for deeper leagues or someone who is rostered in less than 25% of leagues. In terms of the game count next week, the week of November 10th, Philly is the only team with 2 games. So if you're rostering any 76ers players or had been streaming them in, just beware of that. Everyone else has 3 or 4 games. I'm kicking things off. Jusuf Nurkic, center for the Utah Jazz, 31% rostered in
the
Yahoo.
22.
Yeah, it feels dirty to roster him, that's for sure. 22% rostered in ESPN. As we learned the other day, Walker Kessler, Utah starting center, out for the season with a torn labrum, needs surgery. So Jusuf Nurkic just started the past 3 games, has averaged 7 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2.7 stocks in 29 minutes. He cannot shoot anymore. He cannot shoot efficiently. He cannot block shots. He cannot get off the ground. But I still believe that he will be productive and continue this role because he can still rebound. He can still pass. And he just swipes at the ball when it's near him. So he gets steals. And this is I would consider this like a medium-term ad because I worry about the trade deadline. I worry about February. Even if he doesn't get dealt, maybe they set him down. It's just hard for me to imagine that we're seeing games in March and Jusuf Nurkic playing 32 minutes and starting for this Jazz team. So maybe you can sell high, like pick him up now, sell high in a month, see what you can get. But the Jazz play 4 times next week. So even if you're in like a 8-team league, you might be able to stream him in.
Yeah, I think he's our headliner this week. I knew you were going there. I didn't want to take him. So instead, I'll pivot to 36-year-old Westbrook, who's now with the Sacramento Kings, for those of you wondering. 39% rostered in Yahoo leagues. The Kings have 4 games next week. Westbrook turning back the clock, coming off a 23-point triple-double in Wednesday night's game. But, hey, most important, he's getting 29-plus minutes and 4 starts over his last 5 games with the Kings. Westbrook is especially useful in points leagues. So if you're worried about your field goal and free throw percentage, I stay away from Russ. But if you're in a points league, that's really the format for Mr. Westbrook. And he's at least worth streaming this week. I think Sabonis is still questionable tonight. That means a lot more shots for Westbrook and all the other old guys on that Kings squad.
Good recommendation, Ken. Now to someone who wasn't born in the 80s or 90s. I have no idea. Isaiah Jackson, center for the Indiana Pacers, 17% rostered on Yahoo. After a slow start to the season, which included very limited run, Jackson appears to be rounding into form. The Pacers' 23-year-old center has topped 20 minutes in the past 4 games, all starts. He's averaged 12 points, 9 rebounds, and 24 minutes per game over that stretch, which included a monster 21.10 rebound effort against the Bucks. Jackson's a strong 10 to 12 team pickup for me. I think there's a lot of upside here for him to be a long-term asset for your fantasy team. Again, just 23. He's coming off the offseason, or he's coming off an injury. It didn't look like the condition was there. He's playing very limited minutes the first 2 weeks of the season, but that has ramped up now, and Indiana is even more shorthanded than they were, 2 games in. So he's going to get the run, and I'm pretty confident. I would be comfortable spending close, if it's a fab league, I'm spending close to 20% of my fab budget on him. I think Jackson's the ideal pickup because there is long-term upside here.
Don't you get the feeling we're going to be talking Pacers in our pickup section all year round? And I feel like anytime there's a high Indiana game count, you got to stream Jackson or some of these Pacers, Neesmiths. There's just so many shots available. They're so dinged up. But nice suggestion there, Shannon. Alex, who's your second pick?
Daniel Gafford, center for the Dallas Mavericks, 22% rostered in Yahoo, but 52% rostered in ESPN leagues. Debuted on Saturday after recovering from an ankle injury. First 3 games for Gafford, 12-5 with 1 assist and 1.7 blocks, 1.3 steals in 22 minutes. He saw 25 minutes each in games 2 and 3 that he played. Derek Lively, not so shockingly, is injured and has a knee sprain and is day-to-day. He could return soon. We'll see. Anthony Davis is dealing with that low-grade calf strain that's keeping him out. So this is maybe a shorter-term ad.
Or the injuries keep piling up, Alex.
Right. I mean, look, Dallas is horrible. So they need something to change, and maybe that thing is play Daniel Gafford more. At the very least, stream him in. Dallas plays 4 times this upcoming week. You'll get stuff out of him. It's possible this bleeds into a medium-term ad. It's also better for category leagues. He's a field goal percentage and blocks specialist, so he's not a must-add in points leagues.
Well said. Well said. I'm going to go a drastically different type of player. Isaiah Joe for the Oklahoma City Thunder, rostered only 14% of Yahoo leagues. Look, Joe is instant offense. You always want a hot cup of Joe coming off the bench. He's going to get you points and threes. He's on a decent 4-game run after a late season start due to a knee issue. Over the last 4 games, over 17 points, over 4 triples, and 3.5 boards. Lots of minutes and shots available in OKC with Jalen Williams, Dort, Holmgren battling injuries. I think Holmgren's coming back tonight. But a lot of minutes available. And even when they were healthy, Joe was their instant offense guy off the bench last year. If you need points, if you need triples, Mr. Joe is always there for you.
Nice rec, Ken. My second suggestion for the week is Zach Edey, center for the Memphis Grizzlies, 35% rostered on Yahoo. If you want to stash Edey, now's the time to pick him up. He's been on the shelf due to the offseason ankle surgery, but he's nearing a return. The second-year center has returned to practice and should be back in game action next week or two. Edey started 55 of 66 appearances during his rookie season with the Grizzlies. I fully expect him to be a fixture in their starting lineup. As soon as he returns, maybe they bring him off the bench for a couple games until his conditioning ramps up, but he will be locked into their starting 5. The 6'4", 300-pound center averaged 9 points, 8 rebounds, 1.3 blocks in 21 minutes per game as a rookie. He's going to be a walking double-double. Even if his minutes only increase to 24 or 25 minutes per game this season, he will hold plenty of fantasy value, probably in 10-teamers, definitely 12-team leagues. I think he is a fantastic option to stash for a week or two.
I mean, he
7'4".
He's at 6'4", Shannon. 6'4",
yeah.
300.
You know
but yeah, I mean, Edey last season, this is across the whole year, averaged 1.2 fantasy points per minute. And that was for a lot of the season. They weren't featuring him as much as when they got rid of Taylor Jenkins. Then Tomas Isolo took over, and they feature Edey more. So if Edey manages to see 30 minutes a game, that's going to be massive. And
I think a key point Shannon made too is, look, he's not going to see 30 minutes a game as they're easing him in, but come December, he'll be getting 30 plus every day. So don't overreact if Edey has a stinker or two as they're easing him in.
All right, my long shot pick, Derik Queen, power forward center for the New Orleans Pelicans, 9% roster in Yahoo, 5% in ESPN. Zion, again, unshockingly. That's not even a word.
I'm clutching my pearls.
Right. Out the past 2 games due to a hamstring injury. He's expected to miss, I think, at least one more, maybe 2. Yves Missi and Jordan Poole also both missed Wednesday's win over the aforementioned terrible Dallas Mavericks. But the previous game, Queen had an epic fourth quarter against the Charlotte Hornets where he led the charge for a win and ended up finishing in only 18 minutes with 12 points, 8 boards, 7 assists, and 4 steals. Followed that up against the Mavericks with 11, 7, and 2 with 3 steals in 26 minutes. I am probably not as high on Derik Queen as other people.
Like
people
Joe
calling him baby.
Like Joe Dumars.
I'm not as high as Joe Dumars and the people calling him baby Jokic on Twitter. All right. I'm somewhere below that. And Willie Green still doesn't really seem to like him that much. I don't know how much of that is like he might be kind of, his conditioning might be an issue. It's hard to say. But I think he's worth a gamble for some deeper leagues. Like if you're in a 16-teamer, probably take a shot. 14-teamers maybe, at least until Zion comes back. Pelicans have 4 games this upcoming week, so your risk is kind of mitigated. But what, Shannon?
I just think you have this uncalled for hatred of people with round bodies. All right.
Am I fat shaming him?
No. He's not fat. He's just round. James Harden's not fat. He's just round. Okay.
Right.
That's how some of us have to live. How we were built.
I just said he might have conditioning issues. People can be skinny and have JaVale McGee conditioning issues. This guy was skinny.
As I laugh and shove my second chin towards the video recorder, who is my long shot? Surprised he's available for a long shot, but Moses Moody of the Golden State Warriors, only 9% roster on Yahoo. I forgot to check ESPN. I'm sorry. First of all, the Warriors play 4 games next week. That's key. Of course, Coach Kerr, he's going to change lineups all season. So other than, Curry, Green, and Butler, who knows how everyone else is getting minutes. But look, the Warriors are going to rest Curry, Butler, and Green all season to prep for the playoffs. To me, Moody's a strong asset to have in daily lineup change leagues because there are going to be nights where he gets 25, 30. And he showed what he could do in the last 2 games when given a lot of minutes, as there are some injury issues with the Warriors. Last 2 games for Moody, 26 points, 4 rebounds, 2.5 dimes, and 1.5 steals. He had a shocking 4 blocks on Wednesday. I don't think that happens for the rest of the season. But Moses Moody is going to have some weeks where they're resting the old guys, and he has a few blow-up games. And then drives you crazy because Kerr only plays him 15 minutes a few games later.
Before you jump in, Shannon, I'm going to mention we just got a report that Jordan Poole is going to be reevaluated in 7 to 10 days because of a quad issue. Ooh. So if you picked up Jeremiah Fears, good work.
Fear no more. All right. My long shot of the week, Anthony Black, guard for the Orlando Magic, 7% rostered on Yahoo. I'm sure if you've listened the past 2 seasons, you're wondering, when is Shannon going to bring up Anthony Black? I didn't think it was going to be this soon, honestly.
Losing sleep people out there, yeah.
I've watched the past 2 Orlando games, and both times just came away very impressed by Anthony Black. Black is showing growth in his third season. He's currently averaging 11.6 points, 3.1 rebounds, 2.4 assists, 1.8 stocks, and 1 3-pointer per game in 26 minutes off the bench. With Cole Anthony shipped out of town in the offseason, Black is now Orlando's sixth man. His skill set, Black's skill set is very versatile. He can see run at point guard, shooting guard, small forward. I love him on the defensive end. He's going to have plenty of opportunities to play heavy minutes off of the bench. For me, it's mostly just about the eye test. Like, this is a kid who, from day one, I've really liked his skill set and his athleticism, and he's shown improvement each year. He looks far more confident out there when he's handling the ball, when he's even thinking about chucking up 3-pointers. Like, he's just a different player than what I've seen in past years, and I'm excited to see him grow further in year 3.
Shocking to see the Magic have a tweener guard they're not sure what to do with. Shocking.
I don't think he's ever going to – I don't think he'll supplant Suggs. Despite Ken slander, Suggs is actually a demon on defense. He's out there stealing. Yeah. He's got, I think, back-to-back games, like 5 steals, 4 steals. He's a terror out there on defense. He needs to be a better 3-point shooter. But when you have playmakers like Banchero and Wagner and Bane, I don't think they actually need a point guard. And guys like Anthony Black and Suggs, who can be secondary ball handlers, complement those players very well. All of them need to hit more threes.
You just need a guy out there who does stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
And Anthony Black does stuff.
He does.
Good suggestion for deep leagues. All right. It is time for us to go to our DFS segment, our DraftKings Pick6 and DFS segment. But first, a word from DraftKings.
Our partners at DraftKings Pick6 have a deal you don't want to miss. New DraftKings customers, this one's for you. When you play $5 or more on your first paid Pick6 entry, you'll get $50 in Pick6 credits. That's right. Play $5, get 50 in Pick6 credits to lock in your picks and take your shot at big wins. Just use our promo code. You can see it in the description below to sign up and start playing. If you've been thinking about trying Pick6, now's the time to get in. Just use that link in the description to sign up, and all new DraftKings customers can play $5 and get $50 in Pick6 credits. Let's build some lineups. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-78-97-777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick6 credits that expire in 14 days. Ends December 2nd, 2025 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
All right. So today's slate, 11 games, which I believe is an NBA Cup slate. So if you had a hot date scheduled, cancel that. Highest over-under tonight, 242.5, Cleveland at Washington. As always, for the main injuries on today's slate, RotoWire.com, the website and company that we work for, has a great injuries page and a great starting lineups page where you can see who's questionable, who's doubtful, who's out, who's probable, etc. I'm going to kick things off by pulling a Shannon and saying I like Cade Cunningham tonight more than 37.5 points plus assists against the Nets. Brooklyn is allowing the second most points and the most assists per game per 48 minutes, I should say, but in the NBA this season. And Cade has been a monster lately, like MVP caliber stuff out of Cade lately. So I'm riding the bandwagon.
Makes sense. I've got 2 Pick6 selections for tonight, so I'm going to get them both out of the way and then toss it back to Alex. My first is Donovan Mitchell, 35.5 points, rebounds, plus assists. He's hit that. He's hit the more on that PRA 70% of the time this season, 71% of the time this season. Over the past 2 games, Mitchell has 50-plus PRA. Just a fantastic start to the season for an all-star vet. He's like you'd mentioned at the top of the segment, Cleveland, Washington, highest over under the night. I think the stats are going to be there for Mitchell. I'm hitting the more on 35.5.
I mean, and the other night, I think it was that? No, 2 nights ago, I like Jaylen Brown's PRA against Washington, and he crushed it.
Yeah.
And Washington they do not guard superstars. I don't know what it is. They don't guard those guys.
Well,
like you look up who's had some of the best games against anybody. It's all like LaMelo Ball, Washington, Tyrese Maxey, Washington, Devin Booker, Washington. Like,
we had this conversation multiple times last year during the segment. Same thing. Wizards. You were targeting point guards, opposing point guards against the Wizards all the time. I think it just applies to any opposing guards in general. But Mitchell or even Jaylen Brown, he had 35, 5-5 against the Wizards, and it was in like 28 minutes. It wasn't his usual run, so he wasn't even out there for most of the fourth quarter. We could see a similar thing tonight. It is in Washington at least, so hopefully that helps keep the game a little bit closer. But I love that 35.5 more for PRA and Donovan Mitchell. My second, I'm going to go more on another PRA. Nick Claxton. I wish I wanted to find a way to discuss Nick Claxton somewhere in today's episode. He's been very impressive so far this season. Over the past 4 games, he's averaging over 32 points, rebounds, plus assists. The line for tonight is 25.5. So again, I like the more there. Nick Claxton's showing off his playmaking skills. He might lead the Nets in assists this season. If you look at the past 3 games, that's not even a hot take.
I was trying to look up quickly who actually is leading the Brooklyn Nets in assists.
Well,
it is, in fact, Nick Claxton, 3.8, followed by Terrence Mann. My goodness. Okay, so I'll rattle off I'll go one more, and then you can do some DFS. So Andrew Wiggins, more than 19.5 points versus the Hornets. I don't think the points plus assists is up yet, but I would also like that. I think some other places it's at 22.5. We'll see where DraftKings Pick6 sets it. No Bam tonight. Wiggins sees the highest usage rate spike with no Bam Adebayo on the court for the Miami Heat, and is averaging like 28 points per 36 minutes in those 60-something minutes. Like, obviously that efficiency is crazy, but Hornets don't have a lot of resistance, right? So I'm going to do what I very rarely do and trust Andrew Wiggins tonight.
I like that pick with Bam out. The path is there. Couple DFS picks to highlight. Khalil Ware, 5,600. Like Alex mentioned, Bam Adebayo's out. Where it does very well when he gets the minutes. He could easily pop off for 40 fantasy points with the extended run tonight. And then Beef Stew, Isaiah Stewart, Pistons starting power forward for Friday night at least. Tobias Harris is still out. Beef Stew has been fantastic playing alongside Duren in the starting lineup the past 2 games. I expect he'll have another big night. He goes up against the Nets. Beef Stew will get you a little bit of everything. He blocking a couple shots per game. He'll get you some rebounds. He'll hit some threes. So he's a solid value at 5,700. I also think that's high enough where the rostership percentages won't be ridiculous. Like they'll be, could be single digit, 8-9%, and still pop off and provide good 6x value at that rate.
My last pick, Dante DiVincenzo, more than 14.5 points versus the Jazz. I would prefer the 3-pointers, but those aren't up yet. Jazz allowed the most 3-point attempts per game to opponents and second most from above the break, so non-corner threes. And that is where Dante DiVincenzo makes his money. He's taken double-digit threes in each of his past 3 games. Not that worried about Anthony Edwards being back. So over more than 14.5 points versus the Jazz for Dante DiVincenzo. Ken, do you want to pop back in here? Any insights on this Boston-Orlando matchup before we let you clear out for the old man rant?
I'm curious what the DFS salary is for Josh. Why not? Tonight? I still love his energy, giving him great minutes.
They really need him tonight for
They
Wagner
really
and Banchero.
need him.
Yeah.
Their only power forward. So, against Banchero and Wagner, it'd be good to have a forward in your lineup. Though, I think Keita is going to be able to cheat off a Carter and help out with those two scorers. So we'll see. But I don't have any super great insights on that game. Sorry.
That's all right. Who knows? It could be a Hugo Gonzalez night. Like that can just happen.
The sad thing is when Hugo goes off, it'll be because he gets like 3 steals and 2 blocks. He's not going off on the offensive end. His defense is what looks great so far early.
Flinging his body recklessly everywhere on the court.
Yes. Like a bullfighter.
Yeah, if he played for the Bruins, he would lead the league in blocks. Not the kind that we usually discuss.
Okay, Ken. Let's stop the smiling. It's time to be mad.
Arg! Ja Morant, what are you complaining about? Morant is in the middle of a $197 million contract, and you need those Benjamins since Nike dropped to Ja. Yes, for that money, the Grizzlies expect you to care. They expect you to be a leader. Play some damn defense. Stop whining. Morant is shooting 38% from the field this season. 38%. The coaching staff should be mad at you. Earn your keep. Arrgh. Did I just
more Santi Aldama minutes? If that's what comes out of this, I think it's a success.
I hope I didn't just drain your joy from doing the podcast, guys. What's that quote from Morant this week about he's losing?
Oh, are you playing with joy? No. Okay.
Are you guys podcasting with joy?
Never.
Surliness is really the core energy we try to bring.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this train wreck. As always, subscribe to RotoWire. Promo code YouTube15. Go to rotowire.com/subscribe. There's going to be a big entry. Just YouTube15. Enter. 15% off a RotoWire subscription. As always, you get access to our premium articles, our premium rankings tools that I use, that I'm sure Ken and Shannon use. You can see where everybody ranks in fantasy, what we're projecting them for. You have a My Leagues tool. So if you play in like 8 leagues and you're like, is Noah Clowney available on my waiver wire? He probably is. Maybe pick him up.
The awesome game schedule feature to quickly see how many games teams each have over any period of time you want to pick.
And it's not just NBA. There's still NFL going on. If you need to make a crazy comeback in your fantasy football league, we can help you. It's also baseball. If you're a fantasy baseball sicko, you're playing in like a 45-team dynasty league with AAA minors and
best ball leagues are already going. Baseball, crazy. Yeah.
We got all the tools you need. So YouTube 15 as a promo code, rotowire.com/subscribe. As always, also thank you and apologies to our sponsors, DraftKings, Prosper Trading, and Vivid Seats. Ken, take us out of here.
Any mispronounced names before we go to the out quote?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. No. All right, let's go to New York, where the Knicks recently beat the Timberwolves. Karl Anthony Towns, he's still getting over the summer of 2024 trade that brought him to New York. Said Towns, quote, "I'm still stunned. I'm still stunned. It's weird. I feel more like a Knick now after everything we went through last year, but it's weird to see that Wolves jersey, especially the fire black one, and not see Towns on the back of it." End quote. Attention passengers, this 3-car fantasy train wreck has hit the end of the line.